you want to look unrecognizable. I'm not judging you. Maybe you're running away from an ex, trying to start a new life. I don't know, but the true unrecognizable makeup is Chinese Douyin makeup. Like, these girls can shapeshift like no other. It's amazing. But we're gonna be trying Chinese Douyin makeup to look as unrecognizable as possible. And I also have here some of my favorite K-beauty and C-beauty products that I think are brown skin friendly. I clearly have a little bit of a breakout going on here, and that's okay. Nothing a little bit of color corrector and makeup can't fix. But the Chinese girlies have the most even base I've ever seen. Their base always looks insane. So I'm starting with the Isamaya color correcting serum, and this is just going to slightly help even out my skin tone. And this is olive. It's an olive color correcting serum. Douyin makeup is always the most matte blurred out base, so I'm going in with my Danessa Myricks Universal Blurring Balm powder. This just slightly mattifies my skin and blurs the look of my pores without over mattifying it. And then I'm also going to color correct my gray hyperpigmentation and discoloration using the new Morphe color correctors. I use the shade Papaya, and I like to load up the product on the brush and then apply it under my eyes and around my mouth area, anywhere I have that blue gray discoloration, because orange can cancel out the gray undertones and hyperpigmentation. In case you also are unfamiliar what Douyin makeup is, it really just means TikTok makeup. I believe TikTok is banned in China. They have their own version of TikTok there called Douyin, so that's why it's called Chinese Douyin makeup. I'm also going to use some of my NARS Pot Concealer in the shade Caramel for any of my acne and blemishes. Another common misconception is that Douyin makeup is the same as Korean makeup, which it's not at all. Chinese Douyin makeup is a lot more full glam. It's a lot more whimsical. It's a lot more shape-shifty in a lot of senses. Versus Korean makeup, it's a lot more simple, a lot more subtle. So let me know if you guys want a Korean makeup tutorial, because I feel like I have nailed Korean makeup down on brown skin. I'm gonna be going in with my favorite Tier Cushion Foundation. I use shade 34N. And this is such a good shade, and it's really, really full coverage. If you are trying to do Douyin makeup, whatever base you are wearing needs to be full ass coverage. And this cushion, it's giving full coverage. Something I have noticed a lot of East Asian makeup tutorials do is they use a lighter shade of foundation, but that's gonna trigger my colorism, so I'm not doing that. I'm using the same shade as my face. I do not recommend going a shade lighter if you have brown skin. We don't wanna look like those Indian aunties who have the purposely wrong color match. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I also like that this cushion is really, really thin, and Tier has 40 shades, so definitely very brown skin friendly, and it's 20 bucks. Now for concealer, I'm gonna take a much lighter shade of the Tier Cushion Foundation. And if you wanna make sure this is not cakey, you wanna dab the excess off on this side. And I believe this is shade 33N. Something I kinda wonder is how this unrecognizable makeup even started. Am I the only one who feels like unrecognizable makeup is just full glam makeup? But it's not. You're supposed to be unrecognizable. It's not just full glam. I'm taking a little bit of the Huda Beauty concealer in the shade Caramel Corn, and I'm just buffing it into the brush. And then I'm just gonna put it under my eyes. And this is full coverage. Because the look I'm going for is a pink Douyin makeup look, because I feel like that's less ashy than silver. I'm taking the Ultra Pink powder from One Size Beauty, and this is pink, but it's not super ashy. It's gonna help blend in to the blush, especially with Douyin blush placement. It's placed pretty high up, but you can kind of see. It also helps neutralize any yellow that's in my concealer. I'm just gonna set the rest of my face with my Live Tinted powder, just because we only want the pink to be focused on the center of the face. The contour and the highlighting is really interesting because it's less of a contour traditionally placed here, but more of highlighting the center of the face, which makes sense because a lot of East Asian faces tend to be a little bit more flatter, kind of like mine. I actually feel like I look really good in a Thai makeup because I have more of a flatter face. So this style of contour works really well for me. This is one of the few cool toned contour sticks on the market that have shades for darker skin and are not Oompa Loompa orange. But I am gonna actually warm this up on the back of my hand first, and then apply this with a Morphe eye blender brush and then take it down the bridge of my nose. And I'm also gonna take that contour and do more of like a vertical contour. So that's why like I'm really building this into the brush. Otherwise I'm gonna look like a Tim Burton character, ashy, and then you just kind of like paint this down the side of your face to again draw attention to the center of your face. A lot of East Asian makeup styles tends to use really pale blushes like this one from Kaleidos, which is also a Chinese beauty brand. This is one of the few Chinese makeup brands that actually has shades for darker skin. Look at these gorgeous shades. I'm first gonna start with the darker red shade. It doesn't really have a name on here, so I don't know what shade it is, on a Morphe liquid highlighter brush, so it's a lot smaller in size. The blush placement is very like, again, forward because we're trying to bring this part forward. It's almost like blush contouring. You really see a difference here. It's very much a trust the process blush moment. But then I'm gonna take the much lighter shade, the lighter pink shade, put that right under my eyes, like literally right under my eyes. Like I have no other way to describe it. This also gives that like cutesy like brightening effect without being ashy. A lot of East Asian makeup styles don't really use like super metallic highlighters. They use a matte highlighter, and of that it's usually like a white, a slightly yellow, or a blue. This is from another Chinese beauty brand called Flower Nose. This one's been trending all over social media because look how gorgeous this packaging is. They like to highlight, I've noticed, is kind of in this pocket where we put that contour. But do you see how it's a little bit gray? So I'm gonna have to go in again and add a little bit of yellow. It gives like that really brightening effect. And then to balance that blue, I'm taking the LA Girl Brightening Setting Powder. One of y'all recommended me this in my drugstore makeup video, and this has actually become like one of my favorite makeup products. It's like really brightening, but do you see how it kind of brings life back into my skin? And I'm gonna use this almost as like a highlighter. So I'm gonna put it on the bridge of my nose and on the tip of my nose too. I'm kind of going for like a reddish eye makeup tutorial today just because I feel like this inspo would flatter my skin tone like really, really well. So I'm first taking this chocolate fudge eyeshadow palette from Dasic. I think you could probably get this off of Yes Style. And I'm putting that on the outer part of my eye, right where my crease kind of like starts. I also think what makes Asian makeup styles really unique is something called the aegyo contour. So the aegyo is this under eye part area right here. They like kind of pronounce it. Like, do you see it when I go like this? This part of my under eye is really pronounced. So we're going to contour to really pronounce that. Because we're going for a reddish Douyin look, I'm mixing this brown shade with that red blush we have. This is what's really gonna help pronounce that aegyo I've learned is you wanna take a really tiny eyeshadow brush and just make a line right underneath your waterline. Not on your waterline, but underneath your waterline. The key to helping your aegyo look even more pronounced. Now I'm taking my Sephora collection contour powder. This is not the most brown skin friendly, but they do have one shade deeper than this, and this is gray. So if you are looking for a taupe gray contour, I would recommend this one. Just looking at a mirror down here, but I'm going to squint my eyes to figure out where to place the contour and take the same brush and follow where my eyes would naturally crease here. Now you can really see that pocket. I want to fill it in with like a lighter product. So I have this one from Rem Beauty. This is their multi eye stick. And do you see how this one's more of like a champagne color? I just want to fill in the gap like right here. That made a huge difference. Now I'm going to take this reddish shade from my Danessa Myricks Blooming Romance palette. So just going to darken that brown with this palette. And I feel like this is also what sets apart Douyin makeup from Korean makeup. What's really cool about this palette is there's two formulas. So this side is like a putty formula and this side is like a powder. And the putty formula you can use all over the face and is really beginner friendly because it blends super easily. I'm gonna take the lighter putty formula and I'm gonna put it on the inner part of my eye to kind of highlight. And I'm gonna go back in with that dusty mauve shade and kind of put that under on my blush again just to pronounce it. For me, it's always better to like add. You cannot remove, but you can add. Now it's time for my favorite part, which is the shimmer. And in my opinion, the best K-beauty palette, shimmer palette on the market is from Unleashia. This is the Glitterpedia palette, and it was literally like 20 bucks off Amazon. It's so good. Most of these are not ashy. Most of them have like a clear base. So I'm gonna take this white shade, which you would think is not super brown skin friendly, but it is. And I'm just going to highlight this inner corner here. But do you see it gives like that beautiful like scattered glitter effect? I'm gonna take this pinkier shade on a more precise brush right here because we're going to add a little bit of a contour there again. I feel like it's giving a little ashy, so I'm taking this peachy shade from Laka, another Korean makeup brand, and to kind of color correct that white. And I'm also gonna take this sparkle on my Refer 3 brush and put that in the aegyosal that we made. And this is also just gonna really help make that area pop more with my brightening powder and put a little bit of that underneath that aegyosal contour we made. I'm gonna go back to the same peachy eyeshadow and then put that here. If you're wondering where you could get all these products, you could probably find them off Amazon or YesStyle, but I will do my best to link them below. Finally, I'm going back in with my contour. I know it's a lot of steps, but I promise you the devil is in the details, and your Douyin makeup is not looking like Douyin makeup because
you're skipping these steps.
I'm going to slightly draw a line right above where I put that shimmer, and this is going to make a really big difference and give you that, again, that chiseled look. And back in with that LA Girl brightening powder on my brow bone. We're not even done. I already don't recognize myself. For eyeliner, I'm taking this really thin eyeliner pencil. It's from Can Make. And I'm gonna take my kbeauty angled 208 brush. Only gonna draw the eyeliner on the outer part of my eye, and I believe it's like a really straight wing. Before it dries, I'm gonna quickly wing it out. Super subtle. It's not supposed to be like the main character of this look. I'm just curling my lashes with the Shiseido eyelash curler. This is one of the best K-beauty mascaras. It's the Clio Super Proof Mascara, and it's also waterproof. This really gives me a lot of separation as someone who's a part of the itty bitty lash committee. Like, look how long this mascara made my lashes. It's literally insane and not clumpy, and it's affordable. This specific look, she has a little bit of like an inner corner wing. So I'm taking that eyeliner and I'm just adding it to this inner corner. I'm gonna add the ColorGram Champagne, my waterline, to give it that extra pop. Before I move on to the lips, I'm gonna be adding these manga lashes or manhua lashes. I like to take the Kiss Lash Liner Glue and put that on my upper eyelid. Then I'm going to apply this right on top of my lash. And I'm going back in with that brown and putting it on my upper waterline. For the lips, this is the most fun part. I'm taking my favorite Fui pudding pots. These are a K-beauty brand that actually have shades for darker skin. They have like a really fun bouncy texture, but look how gorgeous this dark red shade is. It's the shade Greedy, and it's like the perfect deeper red shade for darker skin tones. I also have the squishy finger applicator that it came with, and I'm going to load up the product on the applicator, and I like to kind of just blend it out on the back of my hand first because these do have like more of like a moussey texture. Really focus it right on the upper part of my lip and blend it downwards. Really blur out that edge. We do not want an actual harsh line. You could leave it like this, but in order to match the original image, I'm gonna take this Wake Make Dewy Lip Gloss. I think this is the Squid Games collection. I'm gonna add that. Oh, that's such a beautiful shade. It's crazy nowadays that so many Korean makeup brands are actually coming out with shades for darker skin. It's missing that like ombre effect, so I'm gonna add the smallest hint of like a dark brown liquid lipstick just in the center. And finally, the highlighter on the bridge of the Cupid's bow here. Just to be truly unrecognizable, I'm adding the bangs. Oh my god. Who is this? I don't recognize myself. Do you? This is insane. This is unrecognizable makeup. Let me know what other makeup tutorials you want to see, and all of the products will be linked in the description. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give your girl a like, a subscribe, a follow, and I will put a video here that I think might be interesting to you. I'll see you guys next time.